Imagine this. You've reached a point in your life where every moment has become priceless. Every step you take is a reflection of years of effort and sacrifice, a foundation upon which you have built your peace. You have faced countless challenges, overcome obstacles, and created your most valuable treasure, your inner balance. However, just as you are about to enjoy this hard-earned peace, some people, seemingly unaware of its value, begin to make constant demands. Whether knowingly or unknowingly, they try to take advantage of your efforts and drain your energy. At a certain stage in life, time becomes the most precious resource, and every minute, every second, holds immense significance. That's why, in the balanced life you have built, there should be no room for exhausting and draining requests. Yet some people ignore these boundaries and continue to burden you with their endless expectations. These requests might seem innocent at first, perhaps a friend asking for a small favor, a family member seeking your help, or a neighbor in need of assistance. However, these seemingly minor demands can slowly creep into your life, subtly stripping you of control and causing your peace to fade away without you even realizing it. That's why, in this video, we will discuss 5 fundamental demands that you should never agree to. These requests don't just create physical or financial burdens, they drain your emotional and mental energy, ultimately threatening your well-being. And the last one on our list is far more insidious and dangerous than you might think. Recognizing it and removing it from your life could transform the way you experience relationships. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel to stay updated with content on personal growth and spiritual awareness. Now, let's get started. 1. Lending money without a valid reason. Lending money, especially when there is no justified reason, can drain you not just financially, but also emotionally. More often than not, those who ask for money do so without taking responsibility for their own financial mismanagement. Instead of solving their issues, they rely on others' resources. While they put you in a difficult position, they fail to consider what lending that money might mean for you. Moreover, once you lend money, you open a door, and this act of generosity can quickly become an expectation. Over time, it may turn into a habit that people begin to take for granted. Lending money means risking the financial security you've worked hard to build. But beyond that, when a loan isn't repaid, the damage is not just monetary. It also affects relationships. Unpaid debts can turn into emotional burdens, creating unspoken tensions even in the strongest bonds. You might have given out money with good intentions, but if the other person fails to return it, or worse, begins to see you as a constant source of financial help, it can lead to resentment and frustration. Even worse, once you lend money, saying no the next time can make you feel guilty. You may find yourself asking, "I helped once, should I do it again?" This internal struggle creates a toxic cycle that compromises both your financial and mental well-being. That's why, unless it's absolutely necessary and you have complete trust in the other person, you must be comfortable saying a firm no. Remember, you are not responsible for the financial mistakes of others. While helping someone in genuine need is admirable, it should always be done in a way that does not put your peace and stability at risk. One of the most essential steps to preserving your peace is learning to evaluate every request carefully and say no when something doesn't align with your well-being. This is not selfishness. It is an act of self-preservation. You may not have unlimited time left to recover from major losses, but you have every right to protect the peace and stability you've worked so hard to achieve. 2. Taking on the role of a mediator in other people's conflicts. Getting involved in other people's conflicts and playing the role of a mediator can drag you into chaos you never created. This is even more dangerous when the conflict is between people in your inner circle, as it can quickly escalate and become emotionally exhausting. In these situations, both sides may not actually be looking for a real resolution. Instead, they want to shift their burden onto you, using you as a tool to justify their own stance. This puts you in an impossible position. No matter which side you choose, you risk upsetting someone. Playing the role of a mediator doesn't just drain your energy, it can also harm your mental and emotional well-being. Carrying the stress of other people's problems, constantly listening to their grievances, and being expected to fix their relationships is not your responsibility. Over time, the weight of these conflicts can become overwhelming, leaving you emotionally drained. Another significant danger is that people who involve you in their disputes often don't want an objective solution. They want someone to take their side. If you don't, you may be perceived as the enemy, and suddenly, you are the one being blamed for things you had no part in. So, the next time someone tries to pull you into their conflict, ask yourself, is this really my problem? Is this something I can actually solve? Or am I just being dragged into unnecessary drama? If the answer is no, then your best course of action is to firmly and kindly refuse to get involved. Setting clear boundaries is essential. Remember, resolving disputes between two grown adults is not your duty, especially if it puts your own peace at risk. 3. Agreeing with someone. Even when they are clearly wrong, some people expect unconditional support even when they make poor decisions. To them, hearing "you're right" from you is just an easy way to validate their mistakes. However, in the long run, this kind of blind approval damages relationships. It doesn't help the other person grow. Instead, it encourages them to continue down the wrong path. Many individuals seek confirmation rather than truth. Instead of reflecting on their choices, they turn to others for approval. If you always tell someone what they want to hear instead of the truth, you become an enabler of their bad decisions. In the beginning, saying "I don't want to be too harsh" or "I don't want to hurt their feelings" may seem like kindness, but in reality, it makes you a silent accomplice to their mistakes. This behavior is especially dangerous in close relationships. If a person gets used to hearing only what they want to hear, they lose the ability to accept honest feedback. They create a world where their perspective is never challenged, making it even harder for them to recognize when they are wrong. That's why speaking openly and honestly is so crucial. Not everyone will appreciate your honesty, but your goal should never be to please everyone. It should be to stay true to yourself. Your experiences, knowledge, and insights may serve as guidance, even for those who disagree with you. The foundation of mutual respect in any relationship is sincerity. People who truly value you will appreciate your honesty, even if they don't always agree with you. However, if someone becomes angry or distances themselves just because you won't blindly support their mistakes, that relationship was never built on real respect to begin with. Stay tuned for the next section, where we will discuss the most damaging request that you should never agree to. This one is the most dangerous of all, and avoiding it can completely transform your relationships and emotional well-being. Expressing your thoughts openly and honestly. Instead of suppressing your feelings, openly expressing your emotions and thoughts benefits both you and the other person. Of course, not everyone will immediately appreciate your honesty. However, remember, your job is not to please everyone, but to be sincere and truthful. Your experiences, insights, and perspectives can serve as guidance, even for those who may initially disagree with you. What truly matters is your ability to express your thoughts firmly, yet respectfully. Real friendships and strong relationships are built on sincerity and trust. One of the best ways to determine whether someone truly values you is by observing how they react when you speak your truth. If they genuinely care about you, they will listen and consider your perspective. but if they distance themselves simply because you refuse to blindly support their mistakes, that relationship was never healthy to begin with. The foundation of both self-respect and mutual respect lies in honesty. 4. Forgetting your boundaries and always doing more. Some people fail to acknowledge the sacrifices you've already made and expect you to constantly do more, regardless of how exhausted or busy you are. For them, your need to rest, recharge, or take time for yourself doesn't matter. They believe you should always be available, always contributing, and always ready to give more. This expectation drains not just your physical energy, but also your mental well-being. Over time, the pressure to constantly do more can leave you feeling completely burned out. Unfortunately, these people rarely realize the burden they place on you, even when you reach your breaking point. Their primary concern remains their own needs, not your well-being. But here's the truth. You are human, too. Just like everyone else, you have the right to rest, to recharge, and to prioritize your own needs. If you continuously put others before yourself, neglecting your own health, it will eventually lead to serious emotional and physical exhaustion. This is why learning to say enough is so important. It's not selfish. It's a sign of self-respect and self-care. Saying no when necessary, setting clear boundaries, and making yourself a priority will help you lead a happier and more balanced life. Your energy is not an unlimited resource, and you have every right to direct it toward the things that truly nourish you and bring you joy. In the next section, we will discuss the most insidious and dangerous request that no one has the right to make of you. This demand is so subtle that it can silently take over your life and become the most exhausting burden you carry. So pay close attention. This is the one you absolutely must recognize and reject. Remember, your health is your greatest treasure, and no one has the right to compromise it. Protecting your life, your peace, and your energy is entirely your responsibility. And now, we arrive at the final request you should never agree to. This is the one that, without realizing it, may have already drained you emotionally more than anything else. 5. Keeping the door open, even when someone has shut it on you. There are certain people in life who are around when they need you, but the moment their situation improves, they disappear. Whenever they're struggling, they remember you. But once things are back on track, they leave, often without even a simple thank you. To them, your presence only matters when it serves their needs. Yet the moment they return, they expect everything to continue exactly as it was before, as if your life had been on pause, waiting for their return. They walk away when it's convenient for them, only to reappear the next time they need a pillar of support. This is not loyalty, it's exploitation. A person who genuinely values their relationship with you will maintain consistent contact, not just when they need something. If someone only reaches out in times of crisis, but disappears the moment things are fine, they don't truly value you as a person. They see you as nothing more than a resource, a solution to their temporary problems. Keeping the door open for those who don't deserve it sends a powerful message. My emotions and time don't matter. You can come and go as you please. But the truth is, the people in your life should be there out of mutual respect and care, not just when it's convenient for them. Closing the door is not cruelty. It is self-respect. It is an acknowledgement of your own worth, time, and emotional well-being. You are under no obligation to wait for someone who has repeatedly walked away. Nor do you owe them an open invitation into your life. Your time and energy are far too precious to be spent on people who don't genuinely appreciate your presence. So, what should you do? The first step is to reevaluate the people in your life. Pay attention to who genuinely deserves a place in your world, If someone only comes around when they need something, but is nowhere to be found when you need support, it may be time to create some distance. Because a person who truly values you will not only show up in times of need, they will be there consistently through both the highs and the lows. Life is a precious gift. The people you choose to share your life with play a major role in determining your peace and happiness. Surrendering to the selfish demands of others can put the balance and stability you've worked so hard to build at risk. But learning to say no is one of the healthiest ways to protect your dignity, energy, and time. Have you ever experienced this? Has anyone ever tried to take advantage of your kindness, patience, or availability? How did you respond in those situations? Were you able to set boundaries, or did you struggle to maintain that balance? We'd love to hear your experiences. Share them in the comments. Your story might inspire and support someone else who is going through a similar challenge. If this video has given you a new perspective, don't forget to like and share it with others. The more people who become aware of these boundaries, the healthier relationships we can all build. Also, make sure to subscribe to our channel so you don't miss out on future content. And finally, peace is the result of the conscious choices you make. Protect it, and don't let anyone put it at risk. Your life is yours. Live it boldly and with self-respect. See you in the next video.